Okay, let's see if I can explain how to record video. So here's my desktop. I have already downloaded OBS Studio. So if you need to get OBS Studio, go to OBS Project. Let me come over here and bring it up. I'll show you. So if you go to, I'll make this full screen, OBS Project.com, and right there is the main link. Download OBS Studio, and go ahead and download that and install it. All right. So once that's installed, you have the icon. You'll see the other icons up here for my games. So what you're going to do is run it as administrator. So I'm running Windows 10. I think it was the same in Windows 7. But if you right click, one of the options will be run as administrator. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, it'll come up and ask you, yes, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes to do it. All right. Now, and you'll see there at launch, and it's showing Windows upon Windows because I'm actually capturing it. All right. So once you've got that running, down here, now I've got some things already loaded that are mine, so just ignore those. But first you're going to do is add a scene. So add your scene. All right. And name it, you can name it OptiShot or online golf or something like that. All right, so once you name that, so you'll have that named. All right, and it'll go blank because it's not capturing anything. So now you're going to add something to it. So what we're going to do is if you want to add, well, let me back up. At this point, it's easier to go ahead and run OptiShot. Or any video, any game for that matter, any screen. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. I have OptiShot set up to run in the window right now, and it doesn't really matter whether it's running on the same screen, on a different screen, display 1, display 2. So let me run OptiShot. I'll get it up and running. All right. So you'll see it coming up here because I'm running it. But I'm going to go ahead and get it set up and running. All right, I'll go ahead and kind of get it to a main screen, whatever. All right, so at this point, let me jump over here to OBS. So what you would do, down here on that scene that you set up that said online golf, you're going to go over here and add. Actually, let me back up one more time because you're going to have to set up the general settings. So up here at the top, if you go to File, Settings, all right, you'll have general stuff, to stream, output, display, etc., etc. Let's go to video and determine what resolution you want to capture. I capture 720p, but you can change that. You can capture whatever you want. I stream in HD, so 720p is a good, at 30 frames a second, for me, works out pretty well. So you would select the canvas resolution, the output resolution. I set them the same, and then the stream. Audio, you can do the same thing for, set that up. How you want to do it. You really don't need to worry. You can on the output for that you're going to output to a stream or a video file, what have you. You're going to set up your streaming information there. Now I've got it set to 5,000 for a bit rate, 5 kilobits per second. My internet can handle that. Whatever you want to set it to, you can try different things. I also hardware encode as opposed to software. Gets a little better quality. Audio bitrate you can change. I have it set at the lowest because I don't really care a lot about audio. Okay, so you'll set that. Now for the stream, I use Restream.io, and the reason I do that is so that I can stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But you can absolutely choose others. They're all set up in here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, etc. And then to do that, of course, if you've got a Twitch or YouTube account, you would go there to get your stream key and enter that. So that's setting up the stream. General, pretty much leave that alone. Set up the stream to where you want it to stream to, Twitch, YouTube, Restream.io, which I set up an account there and stream to both the Twitch and YouTube. Output, I'll leave it simple. Set the bit rate for what you want. Anywhere 3,000-ish gives you a pretty good video. Audio, I don't worry about. Don't care too much about audio. And then video, once again, at whatever resolution you want to stream, whether it be 720, 480, etc. And you can select those on what size you want your canvas to be. And I've got it 720. That's the canvas within OBS. And then your output, that's the stream output, whatever you want that to be. It down samples it. But I've got it set to 720, and then the frames per second, which I've got it set at 30 standard. And then just click OK. Now you're back to the basic top. Now we're going to add something to it. So right here, if you go here, see, you can't really see that. Let me change the size of, give me just a second. I got to change the size of my desktop so I can get to that bottom. Sorry. Because I realized that in, there we go. Now let me get it back up. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're back over here. Okay, so you've added a scene called Online Golf. You added the scene. Now here in Sources, you're going to add something. You've got a lot of stuff you can add. Well, game capture is one of them. If you want to add OptiShot, you would click on game capture, call it what you can call it OptiShot. I've already got one for OptiShot, but I'm going to redo a different one. I'm going to call it OptiShot 2. And then it's going to come up and say, okay, what do you want to capture? Capture any full screen app, capture a specific window, capture foreground. Well, I'm going to capture, I'm going to capture a specific window, and that window that I'm going to capture, the options will come up. It'll show you that OptiShot, it recognizes it's running, so I'll select OptiShot. And then I'll click OK, and there it is. So OptiShot is now appearing. All right, once again, it's set to your base resolution, so it's going to come up at whatever size it is. So you see me clicking on that, you'll see some red lines appear. You can adjust the size of it to fit the screen. You can move it around, all right? Now, if you've got cameras, like I do, and that's why I kind of put them over the side, you would come back down here, and we're going to add a video capture device, all right? And I'll call it Cam 1. It'll come up and give you options. Well, what cameras? Well, I'm going to pick the first one, and it'll take a second to activate the camera. Sometimes it can take 10, 20, 30 seconds to activate cameras and pull them up. But it'll eventually activate. And it just depends on how your USBs are set up and how you're doing it. So on how long it takes. Sometimes I get annoyed because it takes so long to come up. Not sure why it's not coming up now at all. That is kind of annoying. There is a camera that I have that I was using just for audio. See if I can get one of the cameras to come up. Not sure why it's not coming up. But I do notice that in OBS Studio, unlike the old OBS, it generally takes a little longer to pull up cameras, the video devices that you hold. Well, let me go back to the Logitech, and I'll just go ahead and enter that one. So I pulled it up, and here it is. Now you can, once again, stretch it, change the size of it. Whatever you want to do, you can. If you go right-click, you have a lot of options. You go to Transform. You can rotate it 90 degrees. Change the size under Transform. You can also change crop it. So if I take off 50, it takes off 50 there. Remember, I rotated it, so that's why you see it come up the bottom and top instead of left and right. All right? So now that that's up and running, there it is. You've set up your screen, and basically however you want to do it. You can set up, you can either make it so if you click over here, it'll start streaming to the servers you set up, or you can set up hotkeys. So if you go look at settings, and click on hotkeys, I've got hotkeys set up. So how do I start a stream? Well, I hit my insert button. How do I end a stream? Stop a stream. I hit an end button. I can change between my scenes, things like that. Okay? So if you want to start streaming, at that point, you would just click start streaming, or you would click your hotkey and it will be streaming. When you're done playing, it will end that. So if I go back over here, all right, so trying to keep it out of the window. So if I'm here, whatever you're doing here is being captured in that screen. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. That's the basics. Certainly, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to help the best I can. But that is the basics of setting it up. And once again, you can capture whether it's OptiShot or any screen for that matter through down here when you add different scenes. And there are plenty of choices on what to add. You can even, if I wanted to, let me give you an example here. If I wanted to capture a specific part of a browser window, and I've done this before, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to capture, let's see, I am going to do a window capture. You can certainly do a browser source, but I'm going to do a window capture. Haven't done this for a while, so I got to think about it. So, okay. And I'm going to capture, where's my, it's not Google Chrome. And what I'm going to do is say, well, that'll capture the whole window. That is not what I want to do, although you see it there appeared. So I'm going, and okay, which this brings up a good point. If I want to get rid of something, I highlight it, like you see here, click on window. I'm going to get rid of it and just click the negative key. It'll say, yep, get rid of it. And it'll get rid of that. So anyway, that's the basics. Play with it, explore it. I think you'll find that it works pretty well. Just let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to help.